Everyone, and welcome to Frisco's Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Hey, folks, happy Thursday. I'm Curtis Dvorak, and look who else is here with us.
Steve.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, Steve.
Steve Fendera here.
Steve, the new meteorologist.
New meteorologist.
He's back to help us with the forecast, not only in Texas, but also we've been keeping our eyes in the Atlantic.
All-important jumbo shrimp game today.
Yeah, for what we actually have to deal with, the jumbo shrimp game tonight and this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But first, we want to show you this video that is just, it really tugs at your heartstrings.
More people helping.
This is a video that has now gone viral, and they've sped it up because there is such a huge line of cars of all volunteers, the Cajun Navy, with boats following behind the trucks to go in to volunteer their time to go rescue people out of the floodwaters in Houston. And someone just decided to drive by, videotape it, put it on social media, and the line's so long that you see they had to speed it up.
I'm happy that the camera is out the passenger side and not coming from the driver, because note to anybody out there who's doing this, really, really bad idea to be driving and videoing.
Those car holders do work well, though.
Yeah.
You got a little phone holder too. It's also, I mean, you really don't like to see big catastrophic events like this, but the good, I guess maybe I'm an optimist. The one kind of thing that's cool about it is to see everyone come together.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? And to bring everything, and we've seen what's going on in today's world and stuff. It's kind of cool to see people like that come together.
Yeah, and all of the volunteers and all of those people who just said, I'm going to go do something about it. I've been watching it on TV.
Got a boat.
I've got a boat. I've got a truck. I've got time. Or maybe they don't have time, and they cleared their schedule to be able to go out and do this.
There was a picture.
Gives you chills.
The picture of the first day of the hurricane that had it was just a still shot, and it said, it was a photo of a bunch of 25, 30 trucks. That's obviously way more. But it said the Cajun Navy is on its way from Louisiana. And, I mean, they're used to pulling gators into those little boats, so it's easier to pull people because they're not fighting you.
Yeah, well, you remember when, that's a good point. In 2005, when Katrina went through, a lot of people went to Houston and they welcomed them in, and now they're returning the favor, and helping out in any way they can. So what does this mean? And what's going on with the very latest with the flooding and the rain? Has it at least subsided and ceased?
Southeast Texas, yes. Absolutely. I mean, I've got some friends over there reporting and working over there nonstop, and they've been saying the weather's been kind of nicer, and that is very good for the rescue crews out there because they're not dealing with torrential rains and howling winds. They're able to go out and they're able to see, to visually see what they're looking at in the flooded streets and things like that. The latest track with Harvey is up to the north and the east. This doesn't mean that heavy rain and catastrophic flooding is over, because it will be in parts of Louisiana and even up into Tennessee as well through the next couple days. So it's now down to a post-tropical cyclone now, winds around 15 miles an hour. So it's kind of dwindling off, but it's affecting weather patterns all across the eastern U.S. And we got our eyes on something else. And I want to say Irma is not invited to the party.
Wow,
Harvey already crashed the party. He stayed too long, ate too much, maybe had a little bit too much, and now we got Irma showing up.
And I spoke with Jacksonville Convention and Visitors Bureau and Visit Jax and all the people who want you to come to Jacksonville. And Irma, you can't come. Can't sit here, Irma.
Yeah.
So be gone.
Dwindle off. The good news with Irma, though, is the fact that this is still about 3,000 miles out in the Atlantic, so there's so much that can change and so much that can happen. So it's really, I'm going to put a week out for us to kind of get riled up and excited about this. I mean, we got it Monday, kind of dwindling over, and still out into the open by Monday. Could be a Cat 3, Cat 4 by late Sunday into Monday.
A lot of time.
But there's a lot of time to kind of see the variables and go on. But we just want you to know that we got our eyes on this, and now's a good time to, while the sun is out and the sun's shining, to make that kit and get prepared.
Yeah, because how many times do we talk about it? Get the kit, do it, and then you see what happens in Houston, and then you remember when Matthew came through. It's like, how many reminders? Just, have things on standby. My problem is I always dip into the supply kit. If I don't have groceries around, I just go into there, and it's like, well, come on.
How about weather that matters for us for the shrimp's final homestand?
The shrimp final homestand, we're picking on the wahoos, the blue wahoos in Pensacola. It's a nice day today. Temperatures will get to the low to mid 80s by first pitch. Can't rule out a lingering shower, but that's just summertime here.
It's Florida.
With the heat kind of, building in, but we do have a nice sea breeze. It's Thirsty Thursday. There's also, I do want to mention, you got toiletries, you got unopened toiletries. You bring them to the ballpark there for the jumbo shrimp, and they will donate them to those out in Houston. So it's a double whammy. You got that, and then on top of that, even if they win one of these game series, they're going to the playoffs.
That's right.
Since 2014.
Already a fan.
So if I asked you one Jacksonville team that would make the playoffs, would you think it'd be the Shrimp or the Jags?
I would have said the Sharks already did it and won the Arena League.
Okay, well, but that's post. Now,
it was football. We won a trophy in football.
But I love it. You're already a shrimp fan. You're a shrimp fan. You've been here a few weeks and he's already a shrimp. Good deal. Speaking of other sports, football.
Yes, Jags play Atlanta. How's the weather going to be up in Atlanta for the Jags Atlanta game?
Well, considering it's indoors, I think it'd be all right.
It's going to be okay.
Tailgaters,
tailgaters.
I think it would be okay. I mean,
72 and clear.
Be some showers around, but I think we'll be okay. And also, we were talking about fantasy football. I think Atlanta, that's a good kicker to have.
Yeah.
You got a high-powered offense.
Indoors.
Half the season they're playing indoors.
And they got the Saints game, so they got 9 of their games indoors. And then whoever else.
So if you haven't drafted for fantasy.
Yeah, probably not.
Do you do fantasy football, Chris?
Haven't done it in years.
No.
I got into it a while, but then I was like, I can't keep up.
When you were a mascot, did you do it?
Yeah, you're like, the NFL like makes you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like hold a gun to your head and make you play fantasy football. They chain you to your desk. They do. There's
or
lashings,
light fixtures.
There's lashings. There's solitary confinement. I'm just kidding. No, there's not. But I did get in a lot of trouble in the NFL. But that's neither here nor there.
You did. I'm shocked.
But now I'm here.
I don't remember any of those viral videos or towels or anything that
Now
happened.
you get me every day, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but that's the last preseason game. It's not many starters going to play. Preseason. Real game starts September 10th.
That's right. To be continued. Okay. Well, in the meantime, there's another event going on. It's a 20-year history.
Crazy. Had no idea until somebody told me. I was like, what?
It has been 20 years. Can you remember that? That was when Princess Diana tragically killed in that car crash in Paris. And so they're honoring her memory, her life, and people are over in London laying tributes, photos, personal messages on the gates of Kensington Palace in London. So today marks the 2-decade since this happened.
Yeah.
And so people are, obviously just recalling where they were, and, it was just tragic that happened. So the weeks leading up to the anniversary have been met with reflection in Britain as the public remembers what they call the People's Princess and considers her contributions to the country. Take a listen.
I think it's a phenomenon that so many people, I mean, even us, we're talking to you today about that, and still remember 20 years ago where we were. Yet we'd never met her, had been nowhere near her. But I think she touched so many people because of who she was, the way she conducted herself in the context of where she was living and who she became.
First of all, you couldn't believe it, and it was one of those things where you thought maybe it was a movie. It was devastating that you couldn't believe it. So I think the first thing was absolute shock, and then shock turned to deep sadness. She's been known as Queen of Hearts, and I think that Diana touched everybody's heart.
All right, wow. There you go.
I just was shocked it's been 20 years, but even more shocked what I just learned about Steve.
Well, we made a good point before the show.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Steve, he we're talking Princess Di, and he didn't know who she was. But then I said, all right, well, here's the thing that I think is great out of this whole tragedy, is Princess Di was a huge humanitarian. Her two sons, everyone knows, Prince William and Prince Harry. Yeah. He knows who Prince William and Prince Harry are.
And all the stuff they're doing.
And all the humanitarian work they're doing. So from her tragedy, who knows what maybe they wouldn't be doing the same stuff they're doing.
And she was a phenomenal mother. I'm just shocked that he was born in 1992. I'm just relieved that I was sitting for that because I'm glad this chair is holding me. I'm 92. What? Anyway, but yes, people connected with her just kind of watching. There's a documentary out now, and there's some other articles that came out. People connected with her because she was the people's princess. I remember she was with a leprosy advocate. She was an advocate, but she would go up and hug people who had leprosy. She was a big person who contributed to finding a cure for AIDS back in the day. She would go up and would meet with those people, shake. She really was
much more visual than most royal families.
Was just really was something special. So her two sons have been out, and so they really haven't said anything about it. They didn't want to make any public statements. This is kind of the first time that they're not only talking about it, but they're now out and about. And they went to, I think it was Mother B, was it the garden that was created in her memory. So William's wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, also went out there for a visit. So the garden is in Kensington Palace as well. They met with representatives from the charities that Diana supported, talking about that a second ago: Ormond Street Hospital, the National AIDS Trust, and the Leprosy Mission. Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see. And then around the world, I think the message and the thing that people hold on to the most is that she was about helping everybody around the world in a lot of humanitarian efforts. And I think her sons obviously have benefited from her example, even though they were kids when she was gone. So
people helping people.
Yeah.
If you could leave that impact on the world, you did something right.
There you go. All good.